Alright, man. Y'all already know, bro. We back with another video. You know what I'm saying? Hey, I literally just spent the last like 30 minutes trying to fix my setup because it was tripping, bro. They did not want me to get this video done. I don't know why, but we gonna get it done. I got everything working. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. Y'all mess with the setup too? I don't know. I like how it look for now. I might change it up a little bit, but for now I'm messing with it, man. For now I'm messing with it. But anyways, today what I wanted to talk about was, as y'all can tell from the title, my journey and how I got into underground music, bro. Story time, y'all. Hey, y'all get y'all popcorn, y'all get whatever you need. I don't know how long this video gonna be, but you know what I'm saying? I feel like this is long overdue. Like, it's long overdue. I did so many mixes on just straight underground shit, like straight underground music. Y'all could tell from the background, like the vinyls, bruh. You know what I'm saying? I got the little ugly man back there. I don't got a lot. I got the unseen. Hey, if you haven't listened to Quasimodo the Unseen, I don't know why, bro. I heard that project a while back, but I just now recently bumped it again, and I was like, bro, I was asleep on so many songs on there. If you haven't heard that, go listen to it. It's right above the Mad Villainy shit. Go tap into that. But anyways, we ain't gonna waste no more time, bro. I'm sorry if this turns into a yap session, but so how I got into underground music, I don't even know where to start with this, bro, because you know what I'm saying? I feel like this was a pivotal turning point in my life. I'm gonna make another video on why the underground is so important, like in the hip hop culture and in general in music, even like beyond just hip hop, like underground. There's underground like rock that y'all don't know about. You know what I'm saying? But why that culture is important. I'm gonna talk about that in a different video though. You know what I'm saying? We just getting back into the mix, but so boom. Young Vari, you know what I'm saying? This is when, if you didn't know, I'm from Florida. So I had moved to Florida when I was young. I had started playing sports. I wasn't really tapped in to music at all at the time. You know what I'm saying? I was a young bull. I was a jit. This is when I was still listening to like Drake. I was listening to Lil Wayne, Lollipop, like that was my ringtone. I was listening to Chris Brown, like all the stuff you would think a young middle schooler at the time was listening to. That's what I was listening to. You know what I'm saying? And I'm probably a little older than y'all. I ain't gonna lie. So like, y'all would probably call me Unc. I ain't gonna lie. I don't know how young y'all be nowadays. Y'all listen to the underground, so I'm assuming y'all either young or y'all been listening to like my stuff, like my channel, my mixes for a minute, and so you might be like a little older, like kind of like my age, a little after college. You know what I'm saying? And so boom, I moved to Florida, listening to all like this mainstream stuff. Kind of got into like middle school on the same type of wave, like Still listening to Wayne, like I remember No Ceilings had dropped, like all that type of stuff. And then I remember this is kind of like when I first started listening to stuff that wasn't as popular. I started listening to like J Electronica. And like, yo, if y'all know J Electronica, bruh, I started listening to that type of stuff and I was like, okay, hold on, like, is stuff beyond like what the radio is playing that's actually tough? Like, you know what I'm saying? This is when I first started to realize that, because at the time I was just playing sports. I was like, I wasn't really tapped into music like that. I ain't really even listen to music like that for real, like on my own, other than like making a ringtone or something. You know what I'm saying? But I did listen to like what my mom and pops was playing though. Like coming up, my mom was very tapped into like R&B and like reggae and all that type of stuff. As y'all know, I'm sure y'all people's the same too. And like gospel, we always had gospel playing on Sundays. My mom was like very religious too. And so we be listening to that type of stuff, you know what I'm saying? And I always like that kind of music. Like even to this day, there's a lot of my favorite songs is like just them old R&B and like old gospel songs. And on my dad's side, because at the time my peoples was still together. So on my dad's side, we would be listening to like, cause he Haitian, mind you, I'm half Haitian, so we be listening to straight Haitian like compa music. You know what I'm saying? That type of stuff. It's still like the same kind of like dance and reggae vibe, but a little different. You know what I'm saying? And so we be listening to that type of stuff. And so I feel like that is where I got my music taste from my core. Is like, honestly, it wasn't even hip hop for real to start with. I didn't really get into hip hop until, like I said, like middle school, kind of like late middle school, just going into high school for real. And so boom, we get to like late middle school, like early high school kind of. No, this was still like late middle school, and then my people had split, like they got divorced. And that kind of shook everything up, you know what I'm saying? Like I was still playing sports, and so that kind of held me down, but I was like, you know what I'm saying? I kind of got into different music, like a different phase. And then I remember the dude that my mom started messing with listened to a lot of hip hop. He was from the Virgin Islands. And so that's when I like first really got into like underground rap and like Wu-Tang, like old. I know Wu-Tang ain't underground, you know what I'm saying? But like that, I started listening to like old like 3-6, like all that. Like he was into all that, like old boom bap rap type. And so I was tapped into all of that from then. Mind you, I ain't even know like none of the rappers. I just knew like, yo, like this sound is hard. Like I always resonated with it, you know what I'm saying? Because they was spitting some real bad thing, you know what I'm saying? But so that's when I had like really initially got into like rap on my own kinda. But I still wasn't really like tapped into the underground to where I was like, okay, like this is something I'm really like adopting, you know what I'm saying? And so boom, we get to high school. This is early high school. Yo, shout out when I was in, I ain't gonna dox my age, but I'll just say when I was in early high school, Kendrick Good Kid, Mad City dropped. And mind you, first of all, shout out to my cousin Trey. My cousin Trey, y'all don't know, he made music. And he really put me on my early influences, you know what I'm saying? He did music while I was doing sports and all that. So he was tapped into that. And so he put me on all of like the early music that I really started liking for real, you know what I'm saying? And so I left that part out too. But since I was young, he was making music. And so I had to be like, he actually, fun fact, Trey put me on to Tyler Goblin like a month or so after it dropped, way back when Odd Future first started. Because mind you, he stayed out in Cali, and so he was tapped into all that, you know what I'm saying, like early. Bruh, this is the thing, we're always on everything early. I'm sure y'all feel the same way. Like, y'all ever mess with an artist and find out early and you like, you could just tell that they gon' grow because like you like, yeah, they got the sound for real. And they different. Like Trey put me on Tyler early and he was like, yo, I think you'll mess with this. Mind you, I'm like, bro, first of all, I watched the video and I'm like, you think what would make you think I like this? Like, bro, it's a dude eating a cockroach on a video. I'm like, bro, mind you, my mom is like religious. So like I'm trying to like hide from her watching like these old Future videos. Cause he got like upside down crosses on his head and all that. I watched the Yonkers video and I'm like, initially I'm like, bro, what the hell is this? And then I started like peeping again. I'm like, I went back to it. I'm like, hold on, like this kind of different, bro. I don't know what it is. I kind of mess with it. Like, I'm sure y'all kind of felt the same way too if you was like tapped into that era. And so boom, now I'm on the Odd Future. That was actually my very first, like, that honestly might have started everything. Like that's when, other than like my I was about to say stepdad. He wasn't really my stepdad for real. Like I ain't trying to be like that, but you know what I'm saying? But the dude my mom was messing with, he put us on like that boom bap, like old underground. That was like the first step. But this, when Trey put me on Odd Future, this is what really got me into like old Earl and like all that stuff that, you know what I'm saying? I really started going by myself to listen to like Bastard and all this stuff because I was like, yo, these beats are crazy. And that's what really got me tapped in. And so shout out to Tyler, man. We got Igor in the back. I'm trying to get the other ones, but bro, vinyls be expensive these days. Like, anyways, fun fact too, I actually went to California one summer. My uncle got a plane ticket for me to like surprise my cousin on his birthday. And on that trip, we actually went to a Loiter Squad set because he was like tapped in with them at the time. Or my uncle, my cousin's dad was, because Trey my cousin. And he actually got us on a set with Tyler. And I have a picture of us with Tyler in this room. Y'all can't see because it's in a different corner. But yeah, that's a fun fact. Fun fact. So that really honestly changed my whole perspective of music. And I still think about that a lot because I be wondering, like, damn, like, would I be Vari Brisk without that experience? Probably not, bro. And so yeah, so Trey put me on Odd Future, bro. That whole wave was crazy. Like, I'm sure y'all remember back then when they first came out, like the craziest internet rap group, like, honestly might be of all time, like as far as like hype goes. And so boom, I'm like heavy OF at the time, like, you know what I'm saying, this is like late middle school still, and so like early high school type, like 9th grade, 10th grade. And then it starts to like fizzle out, kind of like, you know what I'm saying, OF is like kind of dead. At the time I'm still listening to kind of mainstream shit like Kendrick and Drake and Cole and like all them first coming out, and I'm listening to them. And sophomore year of high school comes around, I'm listening to Chance the Rapper heavy. Like, that's when acid rap dropped. This is still like not really underground, but that's when like acid rap dropped, and I was like, okay, this kind of tough too, because this when I started like messing with music people at my school, because I don't know, we had like a music class in school and like an art class. And I just got cool with some of the people in that class, and they were tapped into like a lot of cool music. And shout out to them, bro, because they still put me on to like a lot of good music. And some people from that school actually making music now and are like very talented and are doing their thing, like big followings and all of that. So shout out to them, man. But that's what I'm saying. That's when I first really got into like that kind of sound. And then boom, I ended up leaving that school. So quick summarization, I went to one school in 9th grade, left to go to another school 10th grade, and then left and went to another school 11th grade. And so I went to 3 different high schools. This was all for football, by the way. Like, I'm still playing sports at the time, so like that's taking up the majority of my time. But in the background, I'm still like heavily tapping into the music now. And as y'all know, like, we all be on the internet a lot. Like, if you be on YouTube a lot, then you be on the internet a lot. So like, I naturally find a lot of stuff, and the way y'all mess with like my mixes, I know y'all tap into a lot of like stuff too, like a lot of music. Y'all be on the internet probably more than you should be too. I ain't gonna lie, but me too. So I feel you. And so boom, this is where everything changes, like for real. So boom, I go to a different school my 11th grade year. I'll save this for a whole different story, but basically I end up going to a school that like a lot of my childhood, like kind of like teammates were on. And we ended up, I ain't gonna tell that story because it gives away too much early, but basically I went to a better school for football and we ended up going crazy. But 11th grade, I'm like just getting there, you know what I'm saying? I'm keeping it straight music. So I'm kind of like, you know what I'm saying? I'm listening to like still like kind of mainstream stuff like Cole. I remember I was listening to Control System like at that time by Absol. If you don't know that project, bro, go listen to that. You tripping. And yeah, just all that type of stuff. Like, mind you, Trey put me on Kendrick early. So like Kendrick is one of my favorite artists, bro. I ain't gonna lie of all time. He honestly might be my favorite artist as far as like, you know what I'm saying, actual artists go. I don't know. I tend to like artists that make their own beats too, more than just like rappers, but I really like Kendrick. Are y'all the same way? Like, do y'all have that bias of like liking an artist that makes their own beats and like raps on them more than just rappers? I have that bias, but I don't know if it's just cause like I make music or what, but I like Tyler a lot because of that, and I like Doom a lot because of that. And I like Madlib a lot because of that too. But I still like, you know what I'm saying, like everybody else, like Pac and Biggie and all them. But I really have respect for artists that make their own like beats and all of that, because it just makes it a lot harder, and I feel like it's a different level of artistry. And so I'm in ninth grade just playing football, like, you know what I'm saying, doing my thing. I'm pretty good, you know what I'm saying? So like I know I'm starting and all that. Like I ain't worried about it, but I'm just going about my business, you know what I'm saying? Like we in summer camp. It's hot as hell. Mind you, this is still Florida. Like it's hot as hell. We running all the damn time. Like, but at the same time, I'm still cultivating my music interest. You know what I'm saying? Like by this point, I'm tapped into so much different music that it's like, I'm sure y'all could relate to this too. It's something about listening to music that you feel like isn't really popular, but it's still good. Like it's like rare. You like, damn. Like not even on no like hipster shit, but it's like it hits different, bro. It hits different. And so at the time, like boom, we going through the year, and then I'm still like the moment that it really changed. I'm gonna tell y'all. I was talking to this one girl, and I was still listening to Cole, like J. Cole, and actually J. Cole was that girl's favorite artist, but that's not the reason I was listening to Cole. That just so happened to be a fact. And then she ended up moving, like leaving from the school, and I was like hurt, bro. This was like my first real heartbreak. I ain't gonna lie, I was hurt. And she ended up leaving, right? And then there was this another girl that I was friends with, but I wasn't really like hanging out with for real, because I had a different girl, you know what I'm saying? And so, boom, that my first girl leaves, and then this other girl that was like my friend that I'm talking about, but she like was interested in me. She like started talking to me and was like, basically she started showing interest in like actually like hanging out and all that type of stuff. Now that I was kind of like chilling by my dolo, and I think this was like after football season too. Wait, hold up. I'm gonna check my phone battery real quick. Oh, all right, we good. All right. So yeah. So I started hanging out with her. Like we started kicking it. Mind you, she's cool, bro. To this day, mind you, we're still friends. I'm not gonna dox her name, but she know who she is. And this is when everything changed, bro. I started hanging out with this girl, and bro, funny as hell. Like the most charismatic girl. Like I don't know if y'all like feel like this, but I really like impulsive like women, like impulsive females, like girls that have a personality and like just, you know what I'm saying? Like I feel like us as men, we be like more laid back, like chill. I was always like that. Like I was always nonchalant, and that was the problem in every relationship I was in. And so this girl wasn't like that. Like she was like out there like funny, laughing all the time, always making me laugh, and that made me vibe with her. Like it made me make her laugh, you know what I'm saying? Like it brought that out of me, and I like that, you know what I'm saying? But I started kicking it with her, right, bro? And she was tapped into music heavy, like tapped into the underground way before me. She was tapped into music, like, you know what I'm saying? All of that. And so because her brother actually like made music, and I don't know how, I forgot what she said, but I guess her brother was like tapped in with people in Wynwood that made music. And if you know Wynwood, you know that's like a real like artsy like culture type setting. And so, anyways, long story short, she put me on Denzel Ultimate. The song Denzel Ultimate by Denzel literally changed everything for me, bro. Shout out Denzel Curry, bro. Hey, shout out, bro. I went through a heavy Denzel Curry phase. Heavy. And I do that with artists too. Like, I tend to listen to an artist and go through their whole like discography. When I heard Ultimate by Denzel, I was like, yo, this shit is crazy. Then I went back and I listened to like everything off Nostalgic 64 and all of that. And I went back and listened to like Black Lamb. What was it? What was I forgot Strictly for My Raiders, all that. Bruh. What? I'm telling you, when she put me on Denzel Ultimate, I literally went back and I discovered all of like the Raider Clan stuff, all the like XXX was popping at the time. He dropped Look at Me, and I listened to that. Then I started messing with X early. This is like peak, like 2016, 2015, 2016. I'm kind of giving away my age, but whatever, it don't matter. And so, bro, this is peak. Like, I went back, bro, changed everything. I'm talking about, I listened to Xavier Wolf, like all of that in like late high school, bro. Changed everything, bro. Like, I was listening to Space Ghost Perp, like back then, like all of that. I was listening to Lil Ugly Mane, like Underwater Tank, back, like way back then when it first dropped, bro. I was listening to that project too, bro. Mr. Thug Isolation, like back then. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, changed everything, bro. I was still listening to Drake and like Views and all that. Don't get me wrong. When that dropped, I was still listening to that. I was still listening to like, Kodak came out at the time too. That's not really underground though. This is when he first dropped Institution. Fun fact, when Kodak first dropped Institution, I actually didn't like it, bro. And I've messed with Kodak. I'm from Broward, like basically, you know what I'm saying? But I didn't mess with it. I don't know why. And so, anyways, she put me on that, right? That's what got me into all of that, like underground sound, the South Florida Lil Wave, all of that, bro. That changed everything. The whole Raider Clan changed everything, bro, when I first started listening to Denzel. So shout out, I ain't gonna say her name, but shout out, I'll say her initial. Shout out to D. Shout out to D. She know who she is, bro. She changed everything for me. Mind you, we were like, I ain't gonna lie, we were like a little thing too at the time, but more so than that, bro, she just cool people. Like one of the coolest people I was able to hang out with to this day, like for sure. Changed my whole like music shit, bro. Changed my whole music shit. Also, fun fact, later on, me and Denzel actually became Eskimo bros. That's a story for a different time though, bro. And so so boom. Fast forward, I end up going to college like 2016, all that. Like obviously I'm listening to music, but I'm just listening at this time, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm just tapping in. Like this is the time like I really started like tapping in with the needle drop too. Shout out to Anthony Fantano. I know he pretty much runs a lot of y'all music tastes, but I like first found him out back then too. And so that kind of played a role too. But anyways, so I get to like early college. I'm still listening to like only Denzel at the time. And not only Denzel, but I'm still listening to that kind of music because like when you find music that good, bro, it like lingers with you for a good amount of time, bro. So like I was not just gonna digest that shit and then just be like, yeah, this cool shit, and then just throw it. Like, bro, I was listening to that music for like a year, 2 years straight, bro. And so it starts getting into like, actually not. I went to like basically a junior college for a year. And so that's all I was listening to then. Nothing really exciting then. But the only thing is I was still playing sports. Bruh, I got to this JUCO. I tore my ACL, or like it was like a prep school. I tore my ACL, cooked. Anybody that's had a sports injury or you've hurt like your knees, you know that pain, bruh. You know that pain, bruh. I was down bad for like I was down bad for like 6 to 9 months. Just down atrocious. And so actually that's crazy. Yo, when I got hurt, I remember this is actually the same time I found out about Lil Peep. 2016. This was like 2016. I got hurt, started listening to nothing but depressing music. Bro, I started listening. Y'all know this, right? Like when you get hurt or like when you going through something. This is back when something about just listening to like depressing music just to like make you really feel like, bro. I don't know if y'all do that too, but at the time, I don't do this anymore because I like try not to do that. But when you be like sad or I would literally go out my way. I had a depressed playlist, bro, and I would just play all that shit and just be like, bro, I would be in the room with my fucking brace on, just in my bed, like fuck, I'm stuck here. My feet up on the fucking like bed and shit. My shit was locked straight, bro. My friends busting in the room. I'm on the bed. I'm just there like, what's up, bro? They're like, what you got going on, man? I'm like, I'm just here, bro. Chilling. Bro, like literally in that exact tone. Just depressed as fuck, bro. Cause I love sports. I loved football at the time. So it's like anytime I wasn't able to do that, I was sick to my stomach, bro. When I got hurt, I was like, fuck. Cause mind you, I was trying to leave that prep school too. I wasn't trying to stay there. Bro, I tore my ACL and ended up staying at that school. And I'll say the rest for another story. But anyways, I got hurt, but this is also when I started making music. So when I was hurt, I couldn't play ball no more. So I had to find something else to do. My boy who played too had like some stew equipment. And then we started going like in the other dorm room. Yo, why my shit lagging? My bad. I thought my shit started lagging. Anyways, my boy had like he had a mic and stuff in his room, and we started making music and like in the dorm, like out of the little prep school we was at, just like playing around, you know what I'm saying? But that's when I first started making music, bro, and I genuinely I just messed with it. I like fell in love with it, bro. Since then, we would just always cook up all the time. He would post it on SoundCloud, but like, you know, it was just for fun. Like it wasn't nothing crazy. And then boom. So that's when Brisk first really started, bro. Damn, what's up with the... All right, my bad. We had some technical difficulties, but I fixed it. So the camera shouldn't be lagging no more. I'm sorry if the first half of the video is a little laggy, but I had to fix my phone. Anyways, so I was at that prep school, started making music, and still kind of listening to the same music. It was nothing new really going on. I was listening to a lot of like old Florida music, a lot of like SoundCloud Florida artists at the time. Honestly, nothing really worth like mentioning other than what I already mentioned with like Florida. Also, side note, I forgot to mention this, but bro, I remember when I was graduating high school, me and my brother went to the second Rolling Loud ever in 2016. Crazy. Bro, that show was crazy. This is why I don't really like go to concerts no more. Cause bruh, like I already experienced peak Rolling Loud. Like Rolling Loud 2016. Like bruh, that was the best year of music, arguably. And we went to Rolling Loud. Like bro, Future was there, Yachty, Cardi, Kodak, bruh, Young Thug, Lil Yachty. Indigo Child Rick, like, bruh, all of these Suicide Boys, Puya, Fat Nick, like, bruh, I could keep going. Like, it was crazy, bruh. It was crazy. But, you know what I'm saying? I just forgot to mention that. So I had to throw that in there because this is back when Rolling Loud was $100 for the whole weekend, bruh. Now you can't even go to Rolling Loud for $300 for like a day, bruh. They taxing, bruh. Like, yo, where's the love for the where's the, bruh, who is, I remember when Rolling Loud was like for underground, like people to go see underground artists. Oh, mind you, bruh, X was there too. So like I had met X at that show. He was on the small stage back then, bruh. This man played Look at Me like 10 times back to back and got in a fight with his DJ. But, bruh, crazy, bruh. RIP X, for real. RIP X. I got a picture of him that my friend painted on my wall too, bro. RIP X. I'll save that for another video though, bro. I gotta talk about X. But anyways, so boom. Now we going into like freshman year of college. I ain't gonna tell y'all what year it is, but you could tell just based off the context clues. So freshman year of college wasn't nothing really special too. I'm listening to Peep still heavy. This is also when I got into JPEG Mafia. Shout out to Peggy, bro. I mess with Peggy heavy too, especially because he was in the service. And so this is when I was getting into that. I was still listening to 17 at the time by like X. This is when he had dropped that. And I was actually in a relationship at the time too. I was still dropping music, bro, at that time too, but it was a lot of like low key shit. And I was still making music too, actually. Yeah, I was still making music with my boy, that same boy that I was at the prep school, like JUCO kind of plays at. We was still making music, bro. There was like this radio station that was on campus that we would go to and just like duck off whenever we weren't playing football, like whenever it was the spring. And we would just go in there and make music, bro, and kick it and play like Super Smash Bros, bro. Shout out to them. Shout out to them. I need to call that boy. I'm still cool. He actually asked me for beats recently. That's funny. And so, boom. I'm still in a relationship. Like, y'all know, it's kind of rocky, like, at the time. So I'm like, I'm listening to Lil Peep, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, all that type of, like, I still had that lingering sadness. I ain't gonna lie. But it was still cool, though. Like, I was playing ball and all that stuff in college. And so I couldn't be mad, you know what I'm saying? I was like, honestly, it was good. But it was just, like, the classes and all that was blowing me. Shorty was blowing me. So it was like, I'll save that story for another time, too. That's actually a crazy story I got to tell y'all. But music-wise, it was still kind of the same, you know what I'm saying? It's like the same music. Then we get past sophomore year, right? We get to junior year. COVID happens, bruh. This is when everything changed again for the third time. For the third time, bruh. For the third time. COVID happens, bruh. Can we get a moment of silence for this, bro? Can we get a drum roll, bro? Like, COVID happens, bro. Now, we get sent home, right? I remember vividly. It was spring of 2020. It was January of 2020. They tell us COVID breaks out. The vid. I ain't gonna say too much. I hope they don't. I ain't even talking about it. Don't take my YouTube video down. But the vid comes out. Now, we like, okay, like what's going on? You know what I'm saying? February, March comes around. We go on spring break. I'm back at the crib. Every spring break, I'm going back home. Why would I not go back to Florida, South Florida for spring break? I'm home and it's lit. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, boom, I'm back home. It's spring break. Some of my friends is down there. You know, another shorty that I was like kicking it with is down there. But honestly, we end up actually, yeah, that's a crazy story too, but I'll say that for another time too. All of my like relationship stories and all that, I'll save for another time, bro. That gotta be a different story time. Right now I'm talking about straight music. And so boom, I'm kicking it, linking with a couple people down there. It's COVID. Everything is like, bro, it seems like the world is on fire. Like, it's crazy. And so boom, we get like a couple days into our spring break and they like, you know what? Y'all just stay home. Cause like the breakout was so crazy that they were just like, we gonna leave y'all on spring break. Do not come back. They was like, do not come back. Do not come back. Like y'all just stay where you at. You do not need to come back to school. Cause if we had went back, we was all gonna have COVID. Like, bro, everybody taking flights. Like, bro, it was cooked back then. It was cooked. And so I'm like, say less, bro. Mind you, I already hated that school I was at. So I was like, bro, you're telling me I could stay home in South Florida for another, like, I don't even know how long? Say less, bro. Say less. And so we back at the crib with it. Mind you, I know y'all feel the same way about this too. Bro, 2020 was one of the craziest years of my life. Like the best and worst year for me. Because it was like we all just got a break, bro. We was all just chilling, bro. Like, bro, that year changed. I think that was the most important year as far as like my channel goes. I ain't gonna lie. Like as far as this Vari Brisk channel goes, as far as this right here goes, 2020 was what changed that. Like this third final like real shift is what changed everything, bro. Because I remember I found out about summers in like late 2019 going into early 2020. I forgot what the first summer song I heard was, bro. What was the first summer song y'all heard? Y'all know if you go on my channel, my first video is a Summers mix. Y'all know, bruh, y'all know how much I fuck with Summers. And so, bruh, mind you, all 2019, all 2020, I'm listening to like all his shit. Like I said, I be running through the whole discog. And so, bro, I ain't even gonna talk too much about like that, like Summers individually, but I'll talk about that whole era, bro. So 2019, 2020, I found out about Summers. I think the first song I heard, I think it was Prelude. It was either Prelude or GG. I don't remember which one it was, bro, but it was one of those. And I was like, or it was Tor Browser. It was one of those three, bro. Just came up on my SoundCloud. And I was like, yo, what the fuck is... Actually, no. I was still on Twitter at the time. And it came up on my, like, Twitter. And I was like, what the fuck is this? Like, shit sound crazy. And I just listened to it. And I was like, bro, I gotta listen to more music by this nigga. Because he's saying some crazy shit. And the beast was crazy, bro. And so that got me into the whole like 2020 underground scene. That got me into like Slay World and all that, like Isaiah TG at the time, bro. 2020 was crazy, bro. I was just back home with like my bro at the time, just like chiefing and like working out every day because I knew we were gonna go back and like to school and to like play sports eventually. Bro, when I tell you it was literally just working out and chiefing like every single day, I mean that, bro. And we was listening to like Summers and shit and like Autumn. At the time, Autumn was popping off too. So we was listening to all of that, bro. Like Retribution by Autumn, like all of that. Like all the stuff y'all see on all the early mixes y'all see on my channel was because of that, bro. Because I found out about Summers back then in like 2020 and I just binged all that shit. And then I was like, bro, this is crazy. Like Isaiah, that whole movement, like Vontae. My brother actually put me on Vontae. Who was the? My brother put me on Booth Pack Mookie. Shout out to my brother, bro. I love my brother. For real, bro. My bro, he put me on Vontae. He put me on Booth Pack Mookie. He played sports too, but he stopped like mid-college. He put me on Vontae. He put me on Booth Pack Mookie. Bro, 2020 was different, bro. Shout out to Booth, bro. Booth is like This nigga Booth is so out of there, bro. I ain't been tapped into his music lately, but like all his old shit, bro, is like undefeated. Undefeated. Goat Fraud music, bro, if you don't know. Legendary Fraud music. Summers too, honestly, but Booth really know what he doing, bro. I ain't gonna lie. He need to like actually lock back in. I ain't gonna lie, bro. He one of them ones for real. And so so yeah, that whole era I'm tapped in with. All of COVID, that's all I'm listening to, bro. All I'm listening to is like Booth Pack, Mookie, Vontae, Summers, like that whole movement was all I was listening to 2020. Real Young Phil. I'm putting all my friends onto that shit, bro. I remember I cracked that same shorty that I was talking about that came to Florida. I cracked her to Bell World too, bro. Peak experience. Like, bro, all that shit is crazy, bro. Crazy experiences. And it's lit because we back home. Like, that was the first time I tried the Sykes with that same girl that put me on Denzel too. So, like, bro, it was crazy back then. It was crazy. And so, boom. COVID ends up finishing. We end up going back to school. I'm going to fast forward now because it's kind of the end of the story. And so, that's essentially how I got put on. Like, that whole shit was like some of the shit I randomly found on the internet. Some of the shit my friends put me on. But really, it was like shorty from high school, 11th grade. Changed everything, bro, with that Denzel Ultimate shit. She don't even know what she did, bro. Shout out, bro. If it wasn't for her, I probably wouldn't even have this channel right now, bro, for real. And so, boom. I actually go back my junior year to school, and we're playing football. Obviously, they want us to come back and like start back integrating. And so we're like playing. Mind you, they was doing the most, bro. Like, bro, I feel like they was forcing it. That whole season when I got back, it was like, it just ain't feel right, bro. It ain't feel right. Like, they was forcing like a season, bro. We were getting COVID tests like every 2 weeks. Like, it was just some money. You could tell it was just money. They had us staying in a hotel on campus, bro. Like, so we weren't like around other people when they came, like around the rest of the general population or the rest of the students. It was just all bad, bro. It was just all bad. But at the time, I was still listening to like all that summer shit. Like I said, it was still the lingering effect, bro. I was still listening to Summers. I was still listening to like, shout out Isaiah TG. Who else was I listening to at the time? It was all that type of shit. That's when I first got into that's when I got into Death Grips too. I don't know if y'all could, I can't point. That's when I got into Death Grips too. I was listening to a lot of Death Grips, bro. I fuck with Death Grips for sure. It's unfortunate that they like falling out now, but anyways. So, yeah, that's really the end of it. Honestly, I ended up graduating. I was still listening to that type of music, like putting my friends on. But the last thing worth noting is my friend Sky. Shout out to Sky. He actually had this exact deck when we were still going to that radio station. And I was like, my first summers and autumn mix was actually on his deck in that radio station, and then I just posted it like using my hotspot, or I don't know, I don't remember if that radio station had Wi-Fi. I think it did, but I remember it taking forever to post, and the rest was history, bro. The rest was history. The rest was history, bro. I posted that first summer's mix because I was like, fuck it, bro. I had none. I was just like, these are all songs I'm listening to. And then, you know what? I gotta mention this too. I gotta give props where props is due. Shout out to Eternal. Y'all don't know Eternal with the exclamation point on YouTube. He used to post a lot of like Cardi slow like songs and that type shit. Shout out to him, bro, because I don't know if he knows this. He probably gonna watch this video too, because I know he watched some of my shit. And I still fuck with his shit. He actually just started posting again too. But, bruh, I remember I saw like some slow shit from him, and I was like, bro, that's actually a cool idea. Like, what if I slowed down all of like these songs and reverbed it and made a mix of it instead of just, you know how everybody posts like a song of slow and reverb? I don't know what made me do it, but I was just like, what if I slow down all these songs and put all of them slow in a mix? And then I did that with that first Summers mix because I was like, there's other niggas making like regular mixes of Summers, but nobody really like making slow mixes. So I might as well just do that to be different. And it's like, it sound crazy. It's basically some fry shit, you know what I'm saying? And so I did that, and bruh, the rest was history. The rest was history, man. But yeah, that is pretty much it, bro. I ain't gonna lie. From then to now, it's been slow. Like, it's been slow, don't lie. Oh, actually, I'm lying. My bad. I kicked the hell out of my camera. I'm lying. After that is when I got into Glock. I actually found out about Glock 40 Spaz. If you don't know, bro, you tripping. I actually got into Glock after that. And that was when like the Glock mixes was coming out. Bro, Glock is one of my favorite artists ever, bro. Every time I'm in the gym, I'm listening to Glock, bro. I had to chill on that lately, but bro, I would spam all my Glock mixes. I spam when I'm working out. I'm telling you, bro, I literally spam them shits when I'm working out, bro. And I got peak gains from it, bro. So if y'all ain't tapped in, go listen to any of my Glock 40 Spaz mixes, bro. Them shit's gonna have you pumping some crazy weight. I promise, bro. But yeah, man. And then, Laser Dim. How I got into Laser Dim, bro, I heard Treacherous. Oh, so, okay, for Glock, Be Right Back, I heard, my voice going out, damn. Be Right Back came up on my SoundCloud randomly. That's how I found out about him back in like 2022, 2023. I know some of y'all been on. Bro, it's crazy because a lot of y'all would ask me to post Glock way back when I was posting Summers and them, a lot of Slay World shit. I was not tapped in, bro. I was like, who the fuck is Glock 40 Spaz? I was tripping, bro. Y'all were right the whole time, brother. Y'all were right the whole time. And so for Laser, I actually found Laser Treacherous came up on my SoundCloud randomly too. And I was like, I had the same reaction as y'all did probably when y'all first heard Laser Dim. I was like, what the fuck? This shit is crazy, but he going kind of hard though. Like, like, bro, the thing about Laser is he funny as hell, bro. But that's really it, bro. And then I posted those mixes. So that's it, bro. Bro, this video is almost an hour long. That's crazy. But I had to get the full story so y'all get the full gist of it. You know what I'm saying? Again, I apologize for some of like the laggy video at first. I figured out what I'm doing now, so we good. But I just wanted to put y'all on that, you know what I'm saying? And so I'm going to start posting more content like this. But I was just like, I'm still honestly getting used to like the whole setup and all that. But I had to tell y'all that story because it's the origins of the channel. It's the origins of me and music and all that, you know what I'm saying? So shout out to everybody that I mentioned in this video. Shout out to all of y'all for tapping in. Because I know if you watching this video right now, just know I love you, bro. Like, some of y'all really be tapped in, bro. Shout out to Rail. Like, all y'all day ones, I mess with y'all, bro. Because y'all tap in no matter what. So we about to shift shit up a little bit. You know what I'm saying? We just going to keep vibing, keep rocking. And so, yeah, man. And let me know what y'all want me to do too. Like, if y'all, I'm gonna still post mixes, I'm gonna still post beats, like the same shit I've been doing. But I figured I might as well just like get in front of the camera and actually do some shit. Like, what, you know what I'm saying? Like, I really I ain't doing much else. Like, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, that's all I wanted to say. I got some ideas for what I'm gonna post next, but still, let me know what y'all want to see, man. I love y'all. Y'all already know. And I'm out.